Kanpai!
Hello everyone and welcome again to Kanpai Cast. This is Kanpai Cast episode number 42 and this week we will be discussing fandoms. It's an interesting topic.
Yep.
Nasuth, you blow your load really quickly. You're going to get drunk like that straight. You need to pace yourself, man. Pace yourself. Okay. Anyway, so yes, this week, hello everyone, we're discussing fandoms in all ways, shapes and form to do with anime, I guess. So, before we begin, I am MDRLoz, not in digital form yet, but will be soon. We have Nasuth,
hello,
in beautiful digital form, traveling through a digital arcade-scape.
Yeah, you know, just a nice retro wave city.
Will you ever reach the city?
No.
Sad.
Have you ever played oh gosh, what is it? Outrun? I think was the car game. Maybe
No.
not. There's a really old car game, and you never reach the city in the background.
And also in the other box, which I can't see right now, I think he's there.
Yeah.
There. It's Xenogelion.
Why?
Why?
Hi.
You said why?
Why?
Hi.
Because we have
Why?
to. We're contractually obligated.
Hi.
We have to. Because we have to. Right, so those are my lovely guests who will be joining me this week, as always. And I move on to the housekeeping of this week. So to start with, just to remind everyone, we have timestamps and chapters, allowing people to navigate to the sections of the show they're interested in watching. They are below Nasuth to the right.
Just below. Just below.
Oh, you don't have hands.
I can't point yet, and I can only hold and drink beer. Just like real life.
What a sad existence you have, Nasuth. That's all you can do. Right. And also, we're hoping, just to let everyone know, we are hoping to start bringing some guests back to the show in July. So we will be expanding that out and having cool people to talk to in the future. So please look forward to that. So, what is that? It's just this the 1st of June? The episode 1st of June.
Yeah.
So next month, maybe some guests, which should be cool.
Yep.
Right. So I think I'll hand it over to Nasuth for this week's anime news.
Right. Well, so a movie poster seen in a theater in Pennsylvania lists the premiere date for the next Dragon Ball Super movie as August 19th. Crunchyroll refused to confirm or deny, but I mean, seems pretty likely. They did say it would be this August, like about a month ago, something like that.
Right.
So August 19th seems about right. So Dragon Ball fans, get ready for that.
Kind of weird that they won't confirm or deny the day. It's just like, but you said August.
But
if
there's already a poster out somewhere, like, did they not approve that? Maybe the theater put it out too early.
50 Quid says whoever actually was involved just didn't, like, source it or something.
Yeah. Well, yeah, who knows? So Studio Pierrot, I'm sure that's French. Has launched a YouTube channel where, for a limited time, they'll be showing several classic anime like Magical Angel Creamy, which I've never seen, but is apparently a classic. Osumatsu-kun, and even a few episodes of Ghost Stories, everyone's favorite.
Yeah.
But none of them are subtitled. It's all just raw Japanese audio. But if you want to just go, look at the cool art style, stop on by there. Yeah.
If it's not the Ghost Stories raw dub version, then I don't want to see it.
Yeah.
I've got a meme about that later.
Boy.
Say goodbye to your money, because Bandai has announced a Tamagotchi based on Anya.
God.
Feeding her peanuts and playing minigames will unlock evolutions, which are essentially just alternate clothes. Hit stores in Japan on December 17th for 2,530 yen, or about $19 US. I do actually have some pictures of this.
I thought this was fake.
No, this is real. This is 100% real.
Oh dear God.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah?
That will be fine, as long as they just make it, just don't make it bleep or bleep every 3 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not always the trouble with Tamagotchis.
Yep.
Until it meets a hammer.
So, import costs gonna really hit you hard, but have to get it. Just in time for Christmas,
Mm-hmm.
Right. So Made in Abyss is getting a 3D action RPG titled Binary Star Falling into Darkness, set to release September 2nd on the Switch, PlayStation, and Steam. It will contain both an original story supervised by the manga author as well as a story mode that follows the events of the anime. And the original story is going to have different characters.
Who made it?
I don't know.
Is it something you didn't wasn't announced, or did you not check?
I may have just forgotten to put it in the thing. Let's see if I can quickly, very quickly look it up. Spike Chunsoft.
What the hell have they done? I mean, with a name like Spike Chunsoft, I mean, it's...
That's anime with which the company was involved.
We'll have to see. We'll have to see.
It could be interesting. Who knows? Anyway, yeah.
All right, let's get on with the show then.
Yeah, that's it for the news.
Cool. Right. So last week, Nasuth threw us into the deep end and decided that we're going to be covering fandoms this week. And
what happens when you don't plan ahead? You leave it to me. And
yeah, we leave it to Nasuth, and it all goes to pot.
Pretty
so we're going to explore fandoms. We're going to get our own opinions on the subject matter, and we're just going to shoot the shit. We're going to chat the breeze. We're going to So one thing I wanted to start with is asking the pair of you, what is a fandom to you? And I will happily start this. Putting myself out on the... Why does this keep
We've got to figure out why it's doing that. Yeah.
I checked... Yeah, anyway. Right, so to me, a fandom is not necessarily something that you actively participate in. So, for example, I do believe myself to be part of the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure fandom, even though I do not engage directly with other people to do with JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Unless it's just your friends watching it with you, yeah.
Exactly. I don't go on to the Reddit or the likes of 4chan and start, shooting the shit, talking about, oh, this is the best JoJo or whatever. Like, I very much talk to just, you guys, and that's about it, really. And I think it is something.
Do you look up, cosplay or anything?
I do follow some cosplay artists on the likes of Instagram and things like this.
But they do everything. Right, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I follow the cosplay artists, not all the cosplayers, rather than, specific cosplays to do with that medium. Right? Yeah. I do not cosplay as those characters myself. And yeah, that is to me what a fandom is. And clearly, Nasuth's hard drive is having a stroke.
I guess. I don't know what's going on.
Anyway, so I'm going to hand over to Nasuth. What is a fandom to you?
Webster's Dictionary says no. I'm pretty much in agreement with you. It's a place you can be a fan and be counted as part of the fandom without necessarily engaging with those people. But if you ever do engage with those people, you'll at least have one thing in common. You can at least say, you've watched this thing, I've watched this thing too. We can talk about, our opinions on it.
Yeah.
I think that's the best definition. I don't think a lot of fandoms end up that way because of mob mentality and in-group, out-group sort of stuff, and yeah.
Loz, what about for you?
Oxford English Dictionary lists fandom as...
I do actually have a Wikipedia page.
Yeah, I wasn't going to let you use Webster's. Excuse me. You didn't invent language. You just OED.
I think actually these two came from Cambridge.
Right, so actually I can't get the difference. Anyway, so was it the state of being a fan of somebody or something, and obviously fan being short for fanatic, basically.
Yeah.
A keen follower of a specified hobby or amusement, an enthusiast for a particular person or thing.
Yeah.
Wikipedia's
got a much broader sort of in-depth, yeah.
The cosplayer dressed as Katniss Everdeen during the Montreal Comic Con. That's on the Wikipedia page.
Yeah. But yeah, it can really be just around anything. It can be around. You can have a fandom of a particular sport, even. I mean, you know.
By the way, in case anyone is wondering. In case anyone is wondering, because it's the Queen's Platinum Jubilee this weekend, we've actually introduced into the show a 56k modem simulator. So if you notice why the backgrounds are loading at a slow rate, it's because they're coming in sections. Just sometimes, just so you have that feeling of being in the past when we used to have 56k modems. Do
you want to have a quick 5-minute look at this?
No. Should we?
No, I'm enjoying it. So, being a fan of something is that you enjoy something in particular. Now, it could be something you just follow. There's no specified definitions of who is and isn't a fan, because then we fall into a no true Scotsman fallacy.
Exactly.
So if you enjoy something and you follow it, you are a fan. Maybe there are better fans, maybe there are more hardcore fans. That's not an issue. But just to be a fan, you just have to enjoy something and go, yeah, I like watching or following or enjoying that media or medium.
Because that's piqued my interest, and I'm pretty sure other people may have the similar thoughts. What is the no true Scotsman fallacy?
Oh, okay.
Well, this one definitely does need a definition, but I think Nasuth, could you get me a Wikipedia page definition?
I can.
Well, I failed it. Oh, do you want to go for it?
I can essentially just tell you what it is. It's essentially where you whittle down a group based on, you say like, that's not a true Scotsman because that person is not actually a Scotsman because they don't wear a kilt, or they're not a Scotsman because their father was English. It's that sort of thing. You're creating artificial subcategories that make it impossible for anyone to live up to the same standard that you have for yourself.
So is that like gating the content?
Yeah, kinda. You're not a true JoJo fan because you don't like Josuke.
No, it's specifying the bar of what is required to be that thing.
Yeah.
And it could be to the point where it's just so restrictive that, So there is a definition on Wikipedia, which I'll just go for an example.
Okay.
The philosopher Professor Bradley Dowden explains the fallacy as an ad hoc rescue or refuted generalization attempt. The following is a simplified rendition of the fallacy. Person A: no Scotsman puts sugar on his porridge. Person B: but my Uncle Angus is a Scotsman and he puts sugar on his porridge. Person A: but no true Scotsman puts sugar on his porridge.
Exactly. It's just saying out of nowhere with no evidence, this thing is this way because I say so.
So no JoJo fan would truly pick Stardust Crusader. Sorry, no. Diamonds Unbreakable over Golden Wind. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Right.
So I would say, I would say I'm a fan of the JoJo shows, but I don't like some bits of it, and I have complaints. And somebody could come along and say, well, how can you complain about that section? You're not a real JoJo fan. And I'd be like, well, I only watched it once through. And they're like, no true JoJo fan has only watched it once through.
Yeah. Your opinion is thus invalid. Yeah, exactly.
You are not a true JoJo fan.
So it is like gatekeeping to a certain extent, but that's just the formal way of stating it. I think that it's a wrong way of thinking.
It's an appeal to purity that this is what needs to be done to be in the thing.
Yeah.
And if you're not, then you're not a pure thing.
Exactly. You can't be part of our fandom.
So, here's a question for you guys. Could you be do you feel you can be part of a fandom without having engaged all the versions of the content? So, for example, I really enjoy JoJo, but I haven't read any of JoJo. I've only watched JoJo.
Exactly. That'd be a perfect example. If somebody came up to you and says, "Oh, what do you mean? You only watch the shows?
Yeah.
You haven't read the original in Japanese." That's another good one. It's like some people say, like, "I've read the manga." Oh, but have you read the manga in Japanese? You're not a true fan. A true fan would have read it in Japanese. Would have learned Japanese just to read it in Japanese.
Yeah, but so my question to you, right, is do you feel that people can still be counted as fans even if they haven't consumed all the media?
Yeah.
I think it's important to realize that the word fan has been kind of watered down over however long. Because again, it did mean fanatic. It did mean somebody who probably absorbed everything, immersed themselves in it completely, and it's just kind of become, this thing that we like. This thing that we like means we're fans of it.
Okay.
So I think it's entirely possible to be a fan. You could be a fan of JoJo the anime without having to be a fan of JoJo the manga. They're two different categories.
Sure. Okay. I mean, to be honest, with all the talk of the whole gatekeeping and all that stuff, part of me feels like maybe we shouldn't say like, "Oh, I'm a fan of JoJo the manga," as opposed to JoJo the anime. You're just a fan of JoJo.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Because otherwise we end up in, sticky waters and, just like, oh my god, it just
I mean, it's you're right. There's a broad category. You are a fan of JoJo. You could subcategorize it from there, but you don't need to. You can just say, you're a JoJo fan.
But some people might say, "I like the way this was done in the manga, but I don't like the way it was done in the anime." So you are a fan of the manga interpretation, but not the...
But that still means you've absorbed it. You've still seen both of them.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. But still,
so moving on. What fandoms are you guys a part of? What what fandoms would you say you guys are a part of?
Let's expand that a bit, actually.
Sure.
So obviously, the three of us, and obviously people watching, we all watch a lot of anime.
Yeah.
A hell of a lot. And we play a lot of video games as well, I'm sure. But I wouldn't say I am a fan of every anime that I watch, and I'm a fan of every video game that I play.
I'm a fan of the genre of anime.
Yes, okay, that's fine. But so, which anime, God, pluralizing. Which anime would you say that you like to the point that you would say you are a fan of it more than just you have seen it? Because let's use our definition that we used earlier. Yeah.
Okay, well,
I will start, and I will say Gundam, because let's be fair, I was gonna say it.
Yeah, you were gonna say it.
As a perfect example, I like them a giant robots. So
he does.
So what about you, Zeno?
Guyver, instantly, like to the point of I found the Guyver manga, I reread the whole thing and realized how much closer the 2005 version of the anime was to the manga than the 89/91 version, and really sad that I've been unable to read the last volume, which actually goes in part to gatekeeping, which we'll talk about in a bit.
I'd say even though we all know it's not the greatest story, I'm actually gonna go with Ava because I loved it when I was. I know.
Okay.
But
No. Keep going.
I loved it when I was a kid. I've watched all the movies. I've watched the new version. The only thing I haven't done is read the manga, really, and I've been tempted to do that as well. So I'd say I'm a fan of it. There's something, even though it's so bad, it's also so bizarre that there's just something attractive about it that I want to wrap my brain around this level of insanity.
If memory serves, the manga is so much closer to the new movies, than it is to the
original
series.
I 100% agree. The new movies are the definitive edition.
But it's just a case of like, I'm pretty sure the manga and the anime started at roughly the same time in terms of either release or production. I can't remember which. I think the manga, like the first volume of the manga came out before the first episode of the anime. But like they're just so wildly different. For example, the manga has 13 angels as opposed to the 18 angels.
Yeah, because the anime had to stretch it out.
Yes, so...
And that they ran out of budget anyway.
Oh God. So yeah, okay, cool. So Loz, are you a fan of every Gundam?
No.
No.
No,
Okay.
but I yeah, some of them are missteps, but I still like. I'm a fan not just of individual anime of Gundam, but of the whole thing. I will at least pay some interest or watch every type of Gundam show I can. There's a few I missed, but I do go out my way to watch even some of the obscure ones, which are just some not very good, some of them interesting little points. But yeah, I enjoy them.
Right.
Can you be a fan? So between Loz not liking some of the Gundams and me having my weird relationship with Ava, can you be a fan of something that you don't necessarily like?
I feel that's a contradiction in terms.
Can
If
you
didn't
be a
like
fan
it,
of something?
you wouldn't be a fan.
Yeah.
I mean, if I break it down, I would say I'm a fan. Like, I like all of Gundam, but I wasn't a fan of Iron-Blooded Orphans because it just was stupid and it just got silly towards the end.
Okay.
I mean, I think you can say that you're a fan of the greater good, the greater whole, but maybe not. But maybe not like small specific parts of it.
Individual
like, for
parts.
example, you know, I love Pat Labor, right? I love the whole TV series, the whole OVA, and the first movie, right? But the second movie and the third movie, well, the third movie was utter awful, right? It was just so shit, right? I don't even consider it part of the canon. But like, no, honestly, because it was to do with what's called these side characters that have barely any appearance in it. It's like, it shouldn't be part of the Pat Labor, but that's my opinion.
Right,
so I think
yeah.
you can be a fan of something and not like specific parts, but I would certainly say I'm not a fan of the third movie, right? So I don't think you can be a fan. Yeah, I think if it's a very specific part, like Iron-Blooded Orphans, you're either a fan or you're not.
Okay. All right. Yeah, makes sense.
Cool. Right. So, the next part we have on this list of many questions is, what makes a fandom positive/toxic? So, I would certainly say it's great to be able to talk to people that have like opinions, like like interests.
Is there a gatekeeping question on here?
There is.
Gatekeeping does come in later, yes.
Good. Gatekeep every time as much as possible.
Really?
Yes.
Are you
Tell me
serious?
why you shouldn't gate. Yes, tell me why you shouldn't gatekeep.
Because it doesn't invite people into the fandom.
In what way?
Oh, there is.
Well, for example, like, you can't be a true JoJo fan unless you've read all the manga in Japanese, right? That's instantly putting up barricades saying to people, you know, your opinion of this thing is invalid. I'll
draw the line. I'll give you learning another language, bit too far, but gatekeeping in general, good thing.
But even so, like, saying, like,
Good thing.
oh, you have to read the manga, right? I'm not buying fucking 7 parts of JoJo just to say I'm part of the fucking fandom.
Okay, no. Okay, right. Okay, I'll draw the line. Fine, I'll add more to it. Adding a monetary thing to it is kind of silly. Like saying, right, you must pay a gold bar to enter the fandom is just silly. Right, that sort of thing. But people who come in and say, oh yeah, I really like this thing. Do you know anything about it? No. I think it should do this now. No. It's just a more modern thing.
See, I don't even consider that gatekeeping, though.
So many fandoms poisoned because we're not. Oh, don't gatekeep. Let people in. You got to be accommodating people. Okay. And then when certain groups of people come in, they start going, "Oh, I like this thing, but wouldn't it be better if it did this, and this, and this?" And then you make.
Is
those
this
changes.
more of a Western thing?
You got to be accommodating. Yes and no. It's just a general thing because the internet's kind of global. And then you make these changes, and then it's not your thing anymore. I must have shown you both the cartoon on it.
Oh yeah, no, I don't know if you've shown it to me, but I've seen it other places.
You've seen the cartoon, good.
Yeah. But see, I don't consider that gatekeeping. I consider that just being, just trying to keep, not even trying to keep people from getting into the anime, but pointing out that they're not They don't know anything about it. They can still be fans of it if they want. They can still call themselves fans. But if they don't actually, if you actually talk to them and they don't know anything, then why would you listen to their opinion about anything? That's not gatekeeping. That's just pointing out somebody's stupid.
No, I think there is a fundamental point here. It's like saying, oh god, there we go. I love anime. Okay, cool. What anime have you watched? One Piece, Naruto, and Dragon Ball Z. And it's just like, but there's so much more out there.
Yeah.
You've picked like the 3 mainstream things, and you can even look to, picking stuff. It's so much easier with the West, right? There are so many things that stuff has been butchered out in the West because, I think for example, if you turn around and say, oh, I'm a fan of Star Wars. I love Star Wars. Star Wars is amazing. Oh, cool. Which was your favorite movie? The Force Awakens. What?
Yeah.
Over Return of the Jedi. Oh, no, I haven't watched that one. You haven't watched Return... What? Huh? And it turns out that they haven't watched not only the prequel trilogy, they haven't even watched the original trilogy, right? So how can you call yourself a fan if you've not consumed probably that level of content? So I think there is some... God damn it, you're... I don't know what is up with the background.
Seriously.
It's bugging the shit out of me. Right?
It's even the 90s simulator. Just let it... Just remember how this is how we used to have to view images. Literally band by band by band. And then when it got down to the top of the breast, you were like, come on.
I even ran a disc check on it, and I cleared the cache, like the emptied the trash and everything. I don't know.
Did you turn it off and on again?
Not today.
See, that's your first mistake. Anyway, moving on. So, okay, so given... Is there any anime that, like, an anime fandom, you would say, that this gatekeeping would apply to?
Sword Art Online.
Huh?
Sword Art Online.
Why would you say that?
Well, in January 2019, Sword Art Online author Reki Kawara to write more politically correct stories due to Western pressure. When Kanyo, I'm terrible names, I apologise, asked what sparked his decision, Kawara, I'm sorry about terrible names, shared insight into his evolving mindset as an author. He said that when he went to overseas events, he received feedback for his writing and came to the conclusion that he should write stories with political correctness, in quotes, in mind to a degree. For this reason, he's trying to give his female characters more agency. So by gatekeeping, so by going to those overseas events when you can interact with people who are not gatekeeped, you're not people who care about, right, you're Japanese, this is a Japanese product, you must keep it as your original mindset.
Yeah.
We're allowing him to, I'm not saying he must be kept away from people.
Yeah.
But because they're like, oh, these are fans. They're not fans. they look into the thing, are like, oh yeah, I like the thing you've made, but can we change it?
Mm-hmm.
Can we just do this differently? Oh, yeah, I see what you're doing. I like that. I want to be in your fandom. Oh, I'm in your fandom. Yeah, I like all these things. This character's this cool. But wouldn't it be great if we changed all of these things?
I'm not going to lie. I struggle a bit with caring about Sword Art Online because I just don't like Sword Art Online at all.
The only know it's because it was an example I knew I could get, and I've got the link if you want to put it in the description of the video. This is the only example I knew I could pull as a perfect example for this case offhand like that. So yeah, it's. So I mean, I'm not a fan of Sword Art Online, but I have watched and rewatched it, and I like the abridged series that's come out of it as well.
Of course,
so
yeah.
I do enjoy it, and I don't want to see it go bad in certain ways. So yeah, I think it should. This is why, in some ways, gatekeeping can be good because you want to keep the thing pure. And I'm not. I know it's no true Scotsman, as we've just outlined. I don't saying there's not any degree of purity that can always be reached. Nothing can always be perfect. Things have to evolve and change. But you have to be careful to try and maintain the thing. So many of our, I'm just not talking about anime now because this is why I'm so passionate on this thing. I'll explain this to everyone because a lot of other Western fandoms have been pretty much ruined in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
They're just ruined by people who want to do a different story than what was meant in that universe. They could, and this is the thing, this is why it could be done. They could, these universes also for these fandoms are normally so good that they could come in, and it's so vast, they could go off and do their own thing in the corner, and it would still fit in, and everyone would be like, yeah, it's fine, that's fine. You come in, I'm just going to take an example of Star Wars. Star Wars universe is huge, however, the stories are always set in the bloody same section continuously. You could come into the Star Wars fandom, into the universe, and go, hey, you know this other side of the galaxy? We're going to write this our own story with Jedi that do this, that, and this character that's just the bestest ever, and everything like that. They don't. They come in, and they want to take what is the key points of the fandom that everyone's liked up to this point and twist it and manipulate it and make it theirs. Instead of coming in and trying to add to the fandom, they want to corrupt what's there. And so
I don't think we're talking about gatekeeping anymore, though. We're talking about preserving artistic integrity.
No. This is what we have put in our list now as policing the content. So it's self-policing. So I am in agreement with Loz here. Like, you can't call yourself a fan of the content if you're then turning to the content creator and asking them to change it.
Yeah, come up with your. You can come up with your own thing, write your own fan fiction, write your own story. That's fine, that's cool, that's driven you to make something new. But when people come in and want to start changing the thing because it hasn't been gatekeeped correctly, and people come in and start they don't want to add to it, they want to alter it. They see that it's popular and they tag onto it, but they go, oh, but I don't actually like it. I'm only here because it's popular. And then they come in and say, yeah, I like this and this, but let's change all of these things. Instead of saying, I mean, like for instance, the Sword Art Online ones, they could write their own. I mean, it's about digital virtual worlds people attracted.
Yeah,
people could write their own female protagonists.
God knows we have enough isekai game anime already. Just add.
But no, I meant in that universe, people could write their own.
Okay, yeah.
But actually, no. To be fair, though, they did though. They actually did Gun Gale Online, which is a complete spin-off from Sword Art Online, and it's fucking amazing.
Oh, there you go. Well,
yeah.
Is that not done by the main person?
I don't think it is. Have a look. Like, he created the world, right, of Gun Gale Online. It's for Season 2, Part 1. So it's like the first half of Season 2. But the series Gun Gale Online, I don't think it's written by him. And it's really good as a series. Right? It's a one-off. Which got set in the same universe. Really fun series.
Based and supervised by him, somebody writing a light novel based on his Sword Art Online series, and the series is supervised by him and then illustrated by someone else. So he supervises it, but he doesn't write it.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
So other people come in and they're adding to his existence. See, that's how you should do it. You know, that's what should be done.
Yeah.
Not they came in and they started writing the characters that main person had already written, and then they're just taking, because this example always happens, then they have to change the history of the show, and then they retcon everything, and it just ruins it all. And I don't want to have an anime.
I'd still just say that's artistic integrity, though. You shouldn't be messing with the original vision. Just add things onto it on your own in a different vein, a different area.
Again, I agree with that. I feel that the writer of Sword Art
people
Online,
who come in and still sorry, Xeno, but people who come in and say like, oh, I want this thing to change. You don't tell them you can't be a fan of it. You tell them that your ideas are dumb and you need to, go do it in your own way. That's not telling them to not be a fan of it. They can still be a fan. You're not gatekeeping them. You're just telling them their ideas are dumb.
I mean, to be honest, I think that the author should have turned around and said, like,
yes,
we'll see,
exactly,
right?
Yeah.
And either take influence from it or don't, right?
And Star Wars isn't even a story anymore. It's just a business. So
it is. It is too much of a business. I mean, I loved what they did with the first season of The Mandalorian, because they were just given carte blanche to do whatever they wanted within the universe, within the setting. And it was brilliant. I liked what they did with Season 2, but it didn't have the same feel as Season 1.
Yeah, not quite the same punch.
And Boba Fett, well, let's face it, the only good part of Boba Fett was the last half when the Mandalorian turned up.
That's right. The best part of the Book of Boba Fett is the second half when it became season 3 of The Mandalorian.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, season 2.5, but yes, same point. And what you call it, Kenobi? Well, like, you know, fuck knows what's going on with that. I mean, it's gonna either be okay or a train wreck. You know,
yeah, it's just a lack of artistic integrity. It's people who want to make money, or because you're not if you're gonna try and appease this new voice that's coming in, either you're gonna alienate the people that you're originally, you know, writing for, or the new group's not gonna be satisfied with what you do anyway. So there's just go with the group you have. Stick with what you want to do.
Yeah, I mean, like, the thing is, if people like the show, they're gonna bring new people in, right? Like the fact that myself and Nasuth brought Loz into JoJo, right? Is because we wanted to introduce him to it. And yes, he was interested by all the memes and shenanigans that were going on the internet, but, you know, we brought him into it. And again, we're, you know, showing both Loz and Nasuth Jujutsu Kaisen, because, you know, it's like, if it's good enough, if you make it for the right people, they will find the people to bring into it, right? I think there's a saying that says, like, the most successful advertisement is word of mouth.
Oh yeah,
right?
Because then you've got
nothing.
No amount of advertising can give you that personal, like, jolt of, oh, this person liked it, well then they say it's good, I'll probably like it too.
Yeah, you know. So to be honest, I don't agree with what the writer of Sword Art Online has done to sort of bow down to changing it, but at the same time, I don't like Sword Art Online for so many reasons.
So what you're saying, Xeno, is that you want to change Sword Art Online. You want to get into their fandom and change it. Sorry.
No, I would. Yeah, I know what you're trying to do there. But okay, so here's a question for you, right? So the next part of the whole questions and stuff we got is, like, you know, what makes a fandom positive and toxic? And certainly, I did not consider trying to change the content as toxic. That didn't even enter my mind.
Yeah.
That's the actual true toxicity of fans, but it's interesting you put toxicity of fan, because it is a bit of a buzzword these days for fandoms as a whole, that they can be toxic. And what it is, it's when they
exclude people.
It depends, right? When they exclude people and say things. So it's tricky. It's a bit of a buzzword that gets unfairly thrown around, that it's when the media doesn't like what the fandom is what a group of fans are doing.
When Shield Hero came out, you know, anyone who supported that was a toxic fandom.
Oh god!
How can you like that?
That was toxic masculinity.
Well, yes, but it was a yeah.
Still, but yeah. So it depends, because obviously fans should also be allowed to say they don't like something. Let's say the show does make a terrible decision. Now, we got Iron-Blooded Orphans there, right? Like, I would probably do a massive rant about how bad the fourth quarter of that show is. I just absolutely hate it for a billion reasons, and I'm gonna rant and rant and rant. And people might say, "Oh, you're being toxic about it. You're not just accepting of what it is." I think the difference when toxicity is when people direct that anger at the people who make the people. You can complain about the media itself or whatever, the thing you're complaining about, but it's when you start attacking the creators directly as people.
There's a difference between criticizing and attacking.
Yeah, and it's the same actually when fans are directing their attacks not at other fans' ideas or discussions, but at another fan directly.
Yeah.
You don't have the right to say about this show at all. Like, if you say something like, here's my idea, this is why I believe that the second last bit of ReZero Staging Life in Another World is an absolute awful and is just terrible, right? And then someone comes along and says, you can't say that about the show, how dare you should shut up, and things like, you're directing at me, not my arguments. You know, people should have the right to say things. It's toxic.
It sort of becomes an ad hominem sort of thing, where you're not attacking the idea, you're attacking the person now.
Exactly. That's when the fandom becomes toxic, when it's not about discussion and things. It's about eating people.
here's a question for the pair of you. What do you think about the fact that there can be toxicity?
It can be only one.
Directed at a fandom without
outside?
them being from outside, right? So for example, I love No Game No Life. I wish there was more No Game No Life, and I've actually had tried to get a few friends to watch No Game No Life, but
on my list.
the problem is that a lot of people that I've tried to introduce into No Game No Life, they do not like the relationship between the two main characters, right? And it's just like, no, I can't. It's disgusting. It's filth.
Filth.
It's smut.
Ooh, filth.
It's like, whoa, where are you reading? How are you interpreting this? Like, where are you getting this stuff from? And that's like,
well, if they are not affected by an external source and they independently looked at it and go, well, I wasn't really happy with this, and they said that's why I stopped watching the show, then there's nothing wrong with that, because they said they gave the show a chance, they weren't happy with a bit of it, and they stopped. I think there's nothing wrong with that at all.
No, that's fine, but at the same time, I feel that it can negatively impact the fans by the fact that other people think this of their fandom.
It becomes less, I didn't like this thing, and more, you should be angry that people do like this thing.
Again, Rising of the Shield Hero is another perfect example.
Yeah.
How dare you say you like Rising of the Shield Hero? You're clearly into
slavery,
things I don't want to say in case YouTube.
Silvery. I'll edit that out. No, I won't.
Silvery, yeah. You're clearly into Silvery.
Yeah.
You think Silvery's all right?
You just want silver everywhere. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Loz is...
I've lost the thread. I'm trying to... We're not talking about purchasing grapes again, are we? Grapes.
No. That is one of them. But that's no. It's like if you like...
You go to a silverer and you get silver from him, and you make that silver work for you by investing it.
Loz, check Discord. It's like secretly handing Loz a
sorry, I didn't
Silvery.
realize we were talking about silver futures.
Yes.
Silver markets.
Yes.
Right.
Silvery.
I'm not a fan of market trading myself. So I can see it can be a bit of an issue for people. Definitely.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
But you see what we mean now. It's the fact that because you like it, you're in support of Silvery.
Yeah, right. Okay, but at the same time, because the way you were wording that, I just want to add, you shouldn't... People are allowed to think things. No. I'm saying that they're perfectly within their right to think things.
Right.
Even if you were saying like, people thinking this has a detriment to the fandom, and they shouldn't be allowed to think this. Like, no, we're never controlling what people think. Never.
Again,
it's a hard line there.
It becomes when they stop liking start attacking the idea of it and start attacking the people, because you watch this thing, it means you're into this. Well, you don't know me. You don't know if I'm into that or not. I may just like the story because it's a fictional setting where this thing is happening, and I want to see how they deal with
the outcome.
Yeah,
and not only that, but it's just a case of people feeling targeted, and it's I've watched episode 5 of Rising of the Shield Hero. Oh my god, you must be into Silvery. Mm-hmm. What? So it's
silver
all
trading.
about
silver trading.
Silver trading. You're into silver trading. And he's like, but no, and as a result, that individual who's only got to episode 5 may just drop it because of outside influences, right? And those outside influences may have never even watched it, but they know that subject matter is in there.
Yeah. Yep. And they may even have a distorted view of that. They may have just gotten bits and pieces from somebody and never went to verify it.
I mean, heck, look at the bashing that Rising of the Shield Hero got, yet Redo of the Healer did not.
Redo of the Healer got considerable.
I don't remember it getting nearly as much of a bashing on Twitter that Rising of the Shield Hero did.
Oh yeah, no, because
because everyone just thought, we agree.
yeah, because we want to. Oh, Oh, it's got that tag on it. Oh.
We're good. We're out.
Let's look at that fireplace.
I'm still going to say it's for 11 minutes, but yeah,
It really isn't. But
I know it's not, but I still want to say it is.
okay, yeah. But anyway, away from this sort of thing, I think if people, you were saying obviously you were trying to get people to watch. What was it called?
No Game, No Life?
No Game, No Life. Now, if people watch it, give it a chance, and come to their own opinion, that's fine. If people say they refuse to watch it because they sort of heard this sort of thing from someone else somewhere said that was this,
yeah,
that's where I draw the issue. It's like, well, hang on a minute. I'm not saying you have to, but would you at least let me try and explain why they're wrong, and then give it a chance yourself?
Yeah.
No, I don't mean it's like, yeah. So if I do walk up to people and say, you should watch Redo of Healer. I've heard that it's got these things in it. No, it's got none of those things in it. It's brilliant. It's an amazing show. You have to watch it. I feel that's not being honest.
Yeah.
I don't even need to list those things. Don't look up Redo of Healer if you're watching the show.
Yeah, please don't.
Trust me.
It's bad.
Don't.
It's bad. I haven't watched it.
I
Loz
actually
has.
feel it have some redeeming qualities, and I would watch a season 2, but you shouldn't.
Yeah.
You really shouldn't.
Yeah.
Just don't. Just don't.
Would you say if people like watching train wrecks, they should watch it?
No, because it actually does get better as it goes along.
Right, okay.
I guess like a train wreck. First, you're gonna have a crash, and it's gonna be very disruptive.
So after the
eventually-
first train crash,
Yeah.
you know, but then the 5th train crash, you're like,
That's when it gets good.
Well,
That's
more
when
like we have a
that's
train
when your
crash,
pants get tight.
and then
Oh, shut up, Nasuth!
Then after that, they fix the
I've
track
never actually
and
watched
everything.
Redo of Healer, so I have no idea.
But for some reason, they just keep running over dogs.
Oh my god. Okay.
It's the trolley
okay.
problem, but every track has bodies on it.
Oh my god. Right. So and more
Yeah.
trains.
So we've talked about toxic, but what about positive fandoms?
No, I think positivity in fandoms is very positive. Sorry, it's very positive. Jesus.
Positive is
Positive.
quote from Xeno.
QED.
Yeah. No, I think positivity in fandoms is very
Positive.
apparent, which is the word I was trying to say. It's kind of everywhere, because one of the great things is being able to just talk to people about what, so, you know, I really like to talk to Loz about Rising of the Shield Hero. Yes, we have the rule of we have to make sure that the other ones watch it before we say anything.
Yeah.
But being able to theorize what's coming on, like what, you know, it's great to be able to talk about this stuff, what we like about it, what we don't like about it, our thoughts and perspectives on different things. Again, My Dress Up Darling, you know, I think every episode we would sit down and talk about it afterwards.
Not every episode, because we didn't. I think we start talking about it to like episode 3 or 4.
Oh yeah, because yeah. So it's that's certainly a very positive side to fandoms.
Right. Okay.
and-
Well, no. I'm going to say several things about the positive. Right. So can I just point out that the positive side of a fandom isn't always just saying nice things.
Yeah.
The positive side of a fandom can be critical feedback.
Oh, sure.
Of the thing.
Yeah.
But because the thing is, fans that are giving feedback, not just to try and alter the actual thing for the sake of their own agenda, but are looking at the thing, saying, "Oh yeah, I like this. Here's the problems with it. Not how to fix it. Just here's some problems." People don't complain about normal people, most people who are in a fandom and are actually complaining about something like, "I really like this, and this is so good. It keeps me coming back, but this is a bit of a problem." I'm thinking more for games.
I was gonna say this sounds so much like your other podcast at youtube.com/10o'clock, where you can hear you talk about the 10 o'clock fandom and how some of them are really dumb and some of them are really, really good.
No, the example I'm going to give is actually, it is Japanese, because I suppose it's a Final Fantasy product. But Final Fantasy 14, the first version of it was an interesting game, and people stuck by it because they liked it, but there was a lot of problems with it. And the actual developers did a massive Phoenix story, took the game down, spent a year fixing it. But then I'm gonna have to try and find it. I've got a PDF of it somewhere. They gave an amazing, before they released the new game, or it was after they released the new game, they gave like a presentation of all the things they learned. And they decided to look at their game like a city. And you could do the same for a fandom. People living in your fandom. Now, if people don't like your fandom, they will just leave. They won't just leave. They won't complain and then leave. They'll just go, okay, I'm not really liking this anymore. I'll go find somewhere else to live or some other fandom to go to. People who complain and are, sometimes when people complain, I don't want to say because you might link it to what I said earlier, but when most people complain, they like the thing, and that's why they're complaining. They look like, oh, I love this thing. And you can ask them, they say loads of things, but they say, but this thing is limiting their enjoyment of it. But they don't want to alter the whole thing. They just want to. So sometimes people complaining can improve a thing if it comes from the right place.
Yeah,
and I have to really express that, because obviously I was saying that some people come into a fandom and want to.
You don't want to change the heart and soul of it. Well, you just want to
yes,
tweak.
You want to grow better.
Something that feels
more.
I wanna give credit. I mean, this is leading away from anime for a brief period. Loz, you told me what No Man's Sky did, right? After their catastrophic failure of a launch. The fact that do you want to tell it? The project lead?
Oh, the project lead for that. Well, if anyone wants to know about the No Man's Sky story, another Phoenix story of a game, go watch the Internet Historian's video on it if you haven't. It is a enjoyable, I think, 40-minute video. Seriously, if you come away and say you were bored by it, then I'm sorry, because I think I've rewatched it at least 5 times, and it's good fun. It's good fun. I've even watched people reviewing it, because it's just seeing other people's opinions of it. It's very good. So anyway, in that, everyone knows the story of No Man's Sky. It came out, and it was not the game that was promised by miles. And then instead of coming out and starting doing apologies and things, the main lead, he said, right, we've got money. Well, basically, we're okay. I didn't say this, but obviously they had money now, because they had made a lot of money. He just turned around to everyone and said, right, nobody answer anything on Twitter. Nobody communicates to the fans. No matter what we say, it's just not going to no one's going to be happy with it. Just everyone silent. Everyone direct it to me, and I will deal with everything. I will absorb it all. Don't look at anything. I don't want people to get poisoned by it. Just get your heads down and just improve the game. And then I'll assess all of the feedback, and I'll feed the information to you, and then we'll just work on improving the game. And then we won't say anything until we have something good to say about the game.
Yeah, which I think is brilliant.
But the fandom, in that thing, that was a case of the fans were toxic, but the fans wanted the game to be good. They wanted what the product they were selling, and it wasn't that they just hated the thing. It's because they wanted what they were promised, and eventually they did deliver on that, and they're still delivering on it. They're still adding more content to that game. God damn that game now! I feel
that this is something that a lot of games certainly should do. They should lean away from social media, because even though social media really wants to see something excel at what it could be, the problem is that the toxicity can be so it's like the criticism can be too toxic. Yes, the criticism can be too vitriolic, and as a result, it just feels like I'm shitting on your thing because I don't like it. Whereas no, they do like it. They just bad at expressing themselves. And I have witnessed plenty of people do this with the likes of Warframe. They want to see it succeed, but instead of actually being constructive in their criticism, they just take a gigantic dump on it.
Yeah.
And it's like, and people don't like to interact with those people anymore. It's like,
there really needs to be a massive layer of separation between social media and the devs, and so they can pass on, or the creators, yes. Yeah. So they can actually pass on useful information from the internet, oh, here's an actual problem, and then just filter out the rest of it, filter out all the complaining and noise. Yeah, it is. Oh wow. Wow. Where did Craig go?
Craig just die.
Okay.
Okay, that was weird.
That was weird.
Right. Well, we just had a random interrupt from a recording bot. What the hell were we talking about?
Death threats to the
Yes.
Darling in the Franxx team sent death threats. So it went to the voice actress, and I've got it up here. Actually, I'll put a link in the description again.
Was that the Japanese voice actress?
Yes. A handful of Zelda fans have sent death threats to the voice actress playing Ichigo and the show's animation producer, Yuichi Fukushima. Now, I just want to say, I don't know if this was just one idiot for each of those, or...
So, do you know if these were Japanese or English?
It hadn't had its dub yet.
No, but it's still subs.
I don't know where they came from. Oh, what? No, the dub... the dub hadn't come out yet.
Yeah, but you still have the subs. No.
Where did the death threats come from?
Yes, are these from the wide world or are these from Japan?
It doesn't say. And
That's
obviously,
fine.
I'm not going to know that. And also, who knows? But it's just got death threats, so who knows?
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
if
crazy.
people waited 1 week, it would have been modulated because it literally, just wait till the next episode. The show was like about halfway through. Obviously, more things were going to happen, but people couldn't wait. So it was ridiculous.
How the fuck can you possibly justify that? Like, didn't I've used this example so many times across so many.
We got Darling in the Franxx on here for pictures.
Yeah, we do.
Probably. Do you want me to
Let's get that up? Let's put that on.
But
this show, I do not know where this show's going. By the way, this show is getting weird.
Is it worth watching?
I don't know anymore.
Which one was that? Which one was that?
I watched a couple of episodes of that show, and I was a bit slow. I was a bit like, okay, where's this going?
Spice and Wolf's amazing.
Slow.
No one hates Spice and Wolf.
There's not enough giant robots.
Well, yeah, I mean it's about economies and stuff.
Did she turn into a giant robot? I don't know.
No, because she's a giant wolf.
Or could she turn into a giant robot?
A giant
robot wolf.
I'm utterly shocked that can happen. The fact that the fans.
So
I'm
you
not.
see the girl on the far right there. The girl on the far right. Far right. That's the voice actress, the character that got death threats to her.
Yeah.
So it's just a character. She's just voicing a character in the show. She's got nothing to do with the way the show's written. She's just voicing a character.
But if you consented to voice the character, you must agree with what it's saying. No, I'm just getting a paycheck.
Don't give people ideas.
Yeah.
It's just a show. It's just a show.
Yeah. It is.
It's just a show. So wow. Let's move on. How does a fan base affect your perception of an anime? Right, okay, so this is something I want to talk about. I actually find that people who are massive fans
Sorry, you keep going.
No, what do you want to say?
No, what point are you reading out now on this list?
So how does a fan base affect your perception of an anime, right? And one thing I do find is with the likes of the angsty teenage my first major anime with Elfen Lied, Tokyo Ghoul, Hellsing, Black Butler.
I know you bring that up.
You just brought it up.
I'd bring it up and you agree with it. Was my point.
Yes, I agree with it. They're all the like. Oh, this show is so amazing! It's so cool! It's so fun! It's so good!
You're talking about the fandoms that are so defensive of their thing. That
not just that, but they also hype it the fuck up.
Yeah.
Right? Actually, I'm going to explain this interesting because I know exactly when Xeno's doing this. So obviously, he doesn't mean actually people. I don't think he means discussing it online with people.
Yeah.
Obviously, in the past, me and Xeno used to go to a lot of anime conventions.
Yeah.
And it's when people in public. Obviously, there's cosplayers. We should do an episode of cosplayers at some point.
Sure.
yeah, there's people who cosplay and there's people who it's a different situation of the way the forum for discussion, let's say, the people do it in different ways, and people in those situations, it's like this is the first anime they're exposed to, and it'd be like the popular one of the day, and it became like the bestest ever. When everyone's just like, yeah, it's just show of the month. It's nothing special.
There's a difference between me telling you There's a difference between me telling you. You should watch Berserk. It's really good. And somebody saying, "Oh my God, you haven't watched Berserk? How are you alive? You can't even live if you haven't watched Berserk. It's just amazing. Oh my God, it's sort of so cool." Yeah, right.
So
yeah.
in part, what you're saying there, the other side to it is I'm going to take Darling off and the Franks off. Mm-hmm. The other side of it is the fact that it's like their first anime.
Yeah.
Right? It's
we all have those nostalgia glasses for our first time.
Yeah, I mean, like, when I was younger, I absolutely loved Elfen Lied, and I'm kind of too concerned to try and watch it again now, because I'm pretty sure the nostalgia would just shatter into a tiny, dust cloud of glass, because I just don't think it can live up to the nostalgia at all. And in all honesty, I watched Tokyo Ghoul. I didn't understand why people liked it. The ending was horrific. I watched the original Hellsing, not Ultimate, the original Hellsing. Again, same thing. Like, I don't know what everyone... And Full Metal Alchemist was another big one around my time. And this wasn't necessarily people engaging with people on... at conventions and things. It was also forums and clubs and things, like where I grew up, there was an anime club that we would meet up like once a month, and and again I just knew people that were like, oh, Full Metal Alchemist is fucking amazing, it's best thing, oh, it's so good, and I'm like, is it though? No, really? So yeah,
I remember people trying to get me into Fruits Basket, and I just wasn't invested at all. I was like, why?
I like Fruits Basket. The problem is that they've done the remake of the series, and it's basically higher quality production, shot for shot, the same as the original. So watching the first season's really fucking hard when I've already seen it before.
Yeah.
So, but anywho. So okay. So has anyone else had any?
For perception sort of thing, I would say apart from when I see people in person taking it too far, I don't think a perception of an anime fandom has ever affected my enjoyment of the anime. I have known animes which people tell me other fandom are ridiculous, and yet I really like the anime. The example I'm going to say is Naruto. I haven't finished Shippuden. I did get like right to the end. It was cool. I wouldn't want to continue into Boruto or anything. But people used to tell me again a little bit, I suppose, at conventions that the fandom is ridiculous. But I didn't find it to be that case. I found the show to be awesome, and it was justified. I think it was pretty good. I actually keep it as one of my examples for how to do scaling of power through a long-term story well.
Yeah.
I always keep it for that because I did a very good job with that. Like Bleach. Sorry.
I struggle to think of a fandom that in anime that's really colored my perception, but I can think of one in the West that has colored a lot of people's perception, and that's the bronies, the good old bronies. That their existence has tainted that show for so many people. And
no, I don't think that's fair though, because like, again, one of my friends, like he I don't know if he is still a massive brony.
Okay, well, it's a bit, but I don't think it's hard to say because it's kind of over now.
Yeah,
the show has moved on to a new generation, which is inspired a little bit by the way the old show was, but it is definitely a new iteration.
Right, yeah.
And it doesn't have the same following as the last one did. The last one was just like a perfect storm of time, the way the internet was, and
I don't know. I wouldn't say that bronies were particularly in your face about it, though.
No, exactly. No, I was sorry. I meant that in general, that you were saying for like going on, people still consider themselves. I think a lot of less people would. It's kind of over. It's kind of a contained, like, nostalgic past thing now. So it's kind of different than how it used to be. But I would
They
say
were
I've
pretty
watched
in
a
your
lot of the
face
show.
before.
So again, I think some were, but some weren't.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
depends
well, I
on
mean
the
that's true with any rabid fandom. But,
No, but
yeah.
but this is the thing. This is the thing, though. I feel that with shows like Tokyo Ghoul, Attack on Titan, Full Metal
Attack on
Alchemist,
Titan, there's a good one, yeah.
yeah, they get so goddamn in your face about it, right? But the bronies were, I would feel, so much more respectable of either you like it or you don't, right?
Yes.
I guess that's more of a case of a few bad apples spoiling the bunch,
Yeah,
because most of them
potentially.
just wanted to do their own thing, but you know.
But like, again, you know, I see people on Twitter, it's like, oh, I can't believe My Hero Academia Season 5's coming out. Woo! You know, like, what the fuck? And then, people like Game of Thrones. Oh my fucking god. I couldn't go to work a single week without, I think it was aired on Sundays, but like, Monday, the whole office was talking about fucking Game of Thrones. And you had to watch it because everyone would spoil it for you. And like, I'm so glad I don't like this show. You know, how can you not like Game of Thrones? It's amazing. You know, get the idea.
Yeah, yep.
Right. Should we move on, or does anyone have any other points? Cool. Right. Okay. So here's one.
Ooh.
Right.
Spicy.
Here's one for Loz, right? Spicy, watch out, right? Expansion into areas like Rule 34. Good or bad?
Good.
Good.
Okay.
I'd like to hear your thoughts on this.
Well, okay, let's be fair. Obviously, I think we are a bit of a mature show. We don't aim not to be. We do discuss moments. If anyone doesn't know what Rule 34 is, Rule 34 is basically, thanks to the internet, there is porn of it.
Yeah.
If you can think of it,
And then
it
there's
exists.
Rule 34B, if there isn't porn of it, it must be made.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
if you think of it, so that's what it is. So anyway, Rule 34. I think Rule 34, obviously, it's to show it's its own thing, and it does it in its own space. It doesn't try and, as we were saying earlier about fandoms, the people who make that stuff I'd have yet to see people try and push it outside into the general space where people will encounter it. It's kind of like, no, we're just making this because we enjoy it, and then other people just will go find it and they'll enjoy it.
I do have one.
Yep.
Mature Anya. That hit Twitter really hard.
People were making mature
Aged up
versions
Anya,
of
yes.
There was an aged up Anya, and Twitter reacted so violently to it.
So somebody probably made it, put it in their space. Twitter then probably someone on Twitter went and found it and reposted it, or in fact, no. Twitter has porn. Twitter has porn.
It does.
What are you
I know.
talking
All
about?
over the place. It's not supposed to, but it does.
No. But it's but Anya's pure and so on and so forth.
Right, but they didn't. Okay, if it was Anya, that would be illegal. So, but
yes, on so many different
aged
levels.
up the character, right?
Yes, they very much did.
So if they
Actually,
made
that depends on the
they
country,
were an
but yes.
But I find
So
I find it very interesting that you highlighted if it's posted within the fandom versus if it's taken out of the fandom, right? So I'm just want to point out,
it's also just legality is important. I just want to say that it
much.
doesn't matter if people are doing their own thing, right, in their own space, and it is legal.
Yeah,
what they're doing is legal. That's fine. Obviously, and as I pointed out, with different areas and different regions have their own rules, so it does have to be legal.
Technically, it's legal in the U.S. as long as it's just drawings. Technically.
Okay, there's actually some I just want to say randomly, complete aside here. When you're making the live action version, the UK actually has some very weird restrictions on what you're allowed or not allowed to do in the live action versions. Just
Yeah, I've heard.
Yeah,
I know we are very, very strict.
Yeah, if you import certain
Oh yeah.
media that contains live action, this, that, or the other, it actually gets confiscated. So. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think it also basically warrants an inspection of your property as well.
Probably, yeah.
Japan's got the same rules as well.
In the UK either. There's certain things as well you're not allowed
Yes.
to
Yeah.
But anyway, yes, it's got to be legal, and it's got to be legal in that area, and that's the most important paramount thing. But if people are doing things in their own spaces that are legal, then they're not hurting anyone. Those things.
Yep.
Space,
Agreed.
Legal and not hurting anyone. Don't get a bee in your bonnet.
So it's very interesting how you highlighted the fact that aged up Anya existed.
I don't want
in its own.
Yeah, I don't want to start justifying examples.
No.
Like that
But I do find it very interesting the fact that we have some Rule 34 of something, and then it is taken out of the fandom,
shoved in people's faces.
No, if the fans were doing that, that would be bad.
Yeah.
When other people do that, it's not the fans' fault.
But it feels like defamation of the fandom.
Yes. Yeah.
Right. You know, if you are a fan of this, then you are clearly okay with this, you know,
even if you're not.
Rule 34. Yeah. And it's like, I didn't even know that existed until you've just shown it to me.
Yep.
How do you know about it before I did? You know, and it's, okay.
Yeah,
so
otherwise, in general, I think it's fine. Artists should be allowed to do what they want.
Well, it's going to happen. It's going to happen regardless.
Yeah.
You know, that's like...
And some of the art that comes out of it is really, really, really good, you know? It may be smut, but it doesn't stop it from being great. Some of it's terrible, too, though. Some of it's just awful.
Nasuth is not admitting to be a connoisseur of this.
No, definitely not. No.
No, the reason why I don't want to be restrictive of it is because it's people's own idea, people's own art. As long as they're doing it in their own space, it's legal.
In a legal way.
Not hurting anyone. But then I like to be more of a freedom orientated person within, very important on the second one, legal, very important, but still.
Yep.
Like, and it's like, start being all Victorian about things and saying, oh my god, you can see her ankles.
Hand-holding, no. You can have that.
It's almost
it's an indirect kiss.
Lewd hand-holding. It's almost suggestive content. Whoa. You know, I don't want to go too restrictive on that and put things, but at the same time, like, I don't want to encourage people to start making things. The important thing is if it's legal, let people do it. So, and if people want to do it for a fandom, it is their own way of expressing their love of a fandom.
Yeah.
It's just what they choose. So, yeah, I'm not going to say if it's good, bad, whatever, as long as it's their own space, legal, and it's not hurting anyone, then whatever. Let's move on, because
Yeah, it's fine.
I think we've already kind of covered this.
It doesn't go any deeper. So we have spoken about the whole self-policing and gatekeeping. But then we've got a few examples of how a fandom can look bad.
How a single person can often make can sometimes make a fan base look bad.
So not to go for the first one first, because that's quite a story. Sure. We have the Rick and Morty McDonald's meme.
Technically not anime, but still, you know, a good example of what we're talking about.
We have...
If you don't know what that is for some reason, it's the guy who's like, I want my Szechuan sauce! And then he rolled around on the floor screaming, I'm Pickle Rick.
Oh, yes.
Yes, that one. Yes.
Now, once again, right, like... And I know in America, freedom of speech is even more important, so you got to try and do it, right? If he does that on McDonald's premises, and McDonald's are like,
that's a private property. They can do whatever they want.
Yeah. But if he does that out on the street, and people says he shouldn't do it out on the street,
he's fine.
People shouldn't be able to say like, oh, he's awful for doing that and terrible for fandom when he's just doing it out on the street, not interrupting anyone trying to purchase McDonald's. Which I mean,
it could be performance art for all we know. You know.
Yeah.
Well, again, it's also the fact that people would try and copycat. So it's like, oh god, you inspire, you know, a few people, and then it just goes horribly wrong from there. We also have instances of how Naruto was
somebody literally died.
Hold on. So Naruto was potentially going to get banned from the States because a child who was playing Naruto took it too far and suffocated in a sandbox.
Yep. Very importantly, so apparently he was trying to recreate a scene from Naruto with his friends, and they buried him headfirst in their sandbox, like up to his chest. And at first they thought he was just joking around when he started to flail around. But then they realized that he couldn't breathe, and so they went to get help. And by the time they got back, he wasn't breathing. They did CPR. They got an ambulance. But I mean, he was dead. He was dead. But importantly, in the article I looked up, they talked to somebody who said it's important to remember that kids mimic stuff they see, and it's a parent's job to make sure they understand the difference. Because we were seeing stuff back in like the 70s and 80s and even the 60s where people would jump off their roof trying to mimic Superman and they'd get injured or killed, So this is not a new phenomenon. Naruto didn't start this. Yeah.
But I do remember, I think Naruto and other shows started putting disclaimers at the front of them. It's like, don't do this at home, kids. Yeah. And it's just like, why was that an option?
Because kids are dumb. Saying, Anya says, don't do this at home, kids.
Another instance, before we get to the big one, was Rengoku Kazuaki, yeah. And his anti-vax / mask stance. So this was a Japanese fellow who earlier this year was trying to organize protests dressed up as Rengoku from Demon Slayer. And it's
wait, who was this cosplay? Was it just someone cosplaying?
His name, the name he used was Rengoku Kazuaki, and he's dressed as Kyojuro Rengoku. So it's probably not his real name, but
No, I imagine that is his real name. He just shares a name. Okay. Yeah. So it's he shares a name, and as a result, he's dressed up as the character from Demon Slayer. But all the articles will point out the fact that he is cosplaying this character from Demon Slayer.
Yeah.
And he's an anti-vaxxer.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
None of them just say a cosplayer being an anti-vaxxer. It was because, the sensationalism
or a person in Japan has been organizing protests.
Yeah, it's because Demon Slayer is super popular.
The thing itself is not responsible for stupid fans doing stupid things. If somebody goes and puts Kanpai Cast on a t-shirt and goes out and does something stupid, unless we told them to do it or encouraged them to do it
for this copyright, no,
we're not. Unless we specifically were like encouraging people to do it, which would be, incitement, right? Which we would never do. We'd never do.
And breaks our own laws.
The only thing incitement we tell people to do is course some anime.
Yeah,
go watch anime.
Maybe have a beer with it. It's fine.
It's
as long as you're legal.
That's all we incite people to do, right? But if say because it's the same for any three. Because some people say like, oh, this YouTuber did this, and this fan who was their YouTube, they went and did this.
It's guilt by association.
Exactly. It's like they were your fan, therefore you're responsible for it. It's not true. It's not true at all. And if some idiot, if he wants to be an anti-vaxxer, that's fine. Like I again, as long as it's not breaking some sort of speech law of the country, that's fine. And if he wants to do it dressed up as an anime character, it's not the anime's fault, and it's not the anime fandom's fault. He just likes dressing up as that character wants to do it.
Yeah.
If he dressed up as a space marine and wanted to do anti-vax stuff, that doesn't mean Games Workshop is suddenly anti-vax.
Yeah.
Interestingly, he has changed his stance since then, but it's not the fandom's fault or the anime's fault if this one person is doing a thing.
It may turn into a case of either change your stance or face some jail time.
Well, there was he was protesting outside of a cat cafe, and the owner was like, "This is technically illegal because you are impacting my business. You're making it hard for people to get in here." But he only gave him a strongly worded letter at first, and apparently they both are now friends because they share a love of cats. So who knows?
And then we have the last one.
Time we bring more people together.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
So the last one being Vic Mignogna. So this isn't a fan. This is a voice actor.
An industry member.
Yes.
What?
Do you remember this story, Loz?
No, remind me.
Okay, Nasuth, do you want to briefly go over it?
So there were several women who accused him of
Propriety?
Yeah, let's go with that.
I'd love to have an episode, which we don't, just want to point out, where we stay
We
away.
don't have to filter.
Can this be the last one? I'm just worried about
For a while, sure.
Please. I have to have a job, you know.
So, but and the industry, you know, kind of reacted by more or less blackballing him. None of his
Blacklisting.
Blacklisting. Yes.
How? Jeez.
But so they, I mean, there was nothing ever proved. Nobody ever took it to court. Oh no, nobody. Sorry, I should say nobody took it to court against him. But he ended up suing Funimation and the people who accused him for defamation. And unfortunately, you know, in the end, he lost, but and ended up having to pay their legal fees. But yeah, nothing was ever proved. He's done no work since 2019 when this all went down.
No, I thought he was taken to court because he countersued. I thought he was taken to court and found guilty of these allegations.
I can. Where's the legal issues?
I mean, we can leave it. We don't have to go into the detail. The point of the matter is,
so they did an internal investigation, apparently,
yes,
and then terminated him. I don't see anything about them about them like suing him or anything though.
The whole point is that he was this quite big name. And you know,
he's done a lot of characters,
very famous ones, very prominent ones.
Yep.
And all of a sudden, he's kicked off all the projects. He can't do any of them. If they ever make a reappearance,
he can't do Broly anymore. No more Broly.
No more Edward Elric.
No more Edward Elric.
Right, okay. Obviously, again, it's tricky subject to do, but let's say, has anyone actually brought any legal
not against him? No.
Right. Is it just hearsay?
And unfortunately, he did not show up to court, and his lawyer was really bad at making a case in his favor. So yeah.
My point is, right, with these different instances, or all of the instances we've spoken about, how do you feel? How are fan bases to react? You know, there are instances where people may feel conflicted because, well, I like this, what they worked on, but is that all right to like it? At the same time, people just outright abandon the fan base, and other people just blindly defend as if that individual can do no wrong. Yeah. So, I think
blind defense is just as bad as blind accusation. You know, it's you gotta use your brain. Use your brain.
But I don't think it is. Again, there can be people in the fandom that says, or X people from the X fans that turn around and say, how can you like that after so and so did this thing?
Yeah, anyone who raised money for Vic Mignogna for his legal case is obviously a shitlord, and they don't deserve to be part of the fandom. I'm kidding. I'm obviously not serious.
Please, no one take that out of context.
I'm very not serious.
And it's difficult. How are people to like something when some key individual associated to it can just poison it so badly?
Well, we've talked before about death of the artist, right? When you got to separate the artist from the thing they created. Because the thing can be good,
let's just live with the examples we currently have.
Sure, yeah.
Right. So, Loz, what's your stance on this?
It's a really tricky thing because it should be, if you have accusations against somebody, it shouldn't be the court public opinion. We should do everything. Sunlight's the best disinfectant. Bring evidence, bring legal things, go through the courts, bring all evidence out for a thing so it's open for everyone. So there's no misunderstanding, there's no hearsay. That's what should be done. I know it's also very hard in these situations to provide evidence or have evidence for these sort of things, and it's kind of why in our society today we have to be very careful of everything that we do and be very careful. At the same time, if he didn't turn up to his own court thing, I don't think that shows any good benefit in his own case. Like,
I'm going to sue you and then not come to court.
If I was accused of something, it would ruin my life, and I would take it very seriously, and I would be there, and I would do my best to defend it and prove my innocence. I wouldn't just... It seems almost blasé not to turn up at court to something so serious.
Yeah.
You'd be a stain against yourself. You'd be like, no, I refuse to have this stain against myself. This is my character, and I want to defend it. Just leave it. So I don't need to go to that. It's like...
But I mean, as far as the stuff he's done, I'm still going to enjoy Full Metal Alchemist. I'm going to, I'm not going to...
It's innocent until proven guilty.
Well, yeah.
That's how it should be.
Yeah. I don't know the results of their internal investigation. Clearly was enough to fire him, but that's a completely different standard.
That's a completely different thing. They are a private company, and private companies...
They got to weigh liability against, whatever,
Not only that, but I think it's important to say that it's your decision of whether or not you want to continue being part of that fandom.
Yeah.
It's up to you, the individual, of whether or not you want to say you are still a fan of whatever it is the whole shit show that's surrounding it. It's not fair for anyone else to turn around and say, I'm not going to talk to you because you like this fandom. Like, the fandom as a whole is not represented by one person, right?
And even if it was proven that he did this thing, you can you should still enjoy you should still be able to enjoy the thing they did.
Regardless, it's like you have other voice actors, you have other people,
exactly,
you have, script writers, you have animators, you have why should one person
ruin the entire thing?
To ruin the entire thing, right?
Yeah.
As
long as the company does the right thing and doesn't let them work there anymore or whatever, it's you can enjoy whatever came before.
And if they do get wrongfully fired and that they countersue and then they get damages because they were it should be it's between the person and the company about the firing. People shouldn't be able to pressure the company to fire. It should be on the company's own internal investigation, and then if the person was wrongfully terminated, then it's for that person to then deal with the company. This is where I feel fans read into this area when they shouldn't.
They feel like they own the show or whatever.
Yeah, they think because they're a part of it, they own the thing, and the thing must adhere to their rules. These things should be in the legal court because there should be legal proceedings, and the fans shouldn't have a say through the public opinion which way they think or other. If you do feel it's wrong and you are aware of everything, then vote with your wallet and vote with your feet. And then if you can't, as Xenogelion said, you just leave. It shouldn't be down to affecting things.
So I think in conclusion,
right. So let's move on to the next thing.
Well, I mean, I think we should round up and say, we think fandoms are good. Policing a fandom
I would
not
say
necessarily
we
a bad
focused
thing.
far too much on the negative and some of the worst aspects.
No. I think at the start when you were talking about the policing it, I think that was.
We did try to push a lot of positivity.
I feel that's a positive because it's one of the important things a fandom can do. But at the same time, we've highlighted a lot of negatives. We haven't got any example, and even your examples of bad fandom. Where's your example of fandom that helped a kid on their deathbed, or example from a 5-year-old fan that inspired a person who wrote a thing and then went and made a whole new amazing show that everyone loved from what a 5-year-old showed them. As their draw. I'm thinking Doctor Who.
Axe Cop. Axe Cop. Have you never seen Axe Cop? Oh, I know what we're doing after the recording.
Okay.
Oh.
What the fuck is Axe Cop?
Oh man. So this guy's kid came up with the idea of Axe Cop, and he did a whole show based on this idea. It's so good. Okay. I know that doesn't push the doesn't really get the idea across, but trust me, it is amazing. It was on Adult Swim, if that helps.
Okay.
Maybe.
Right.
Right. Okay then. Should we go to the support? Should we move on to the supporter questions?
You at home, go watch Axe Cop.
Right.
After we finish this.
To supporter questions. Zrugel says, before I read out Zrugel's question, I just want to say thank you all for listening to our podcast so far. We really appreciate all the likes and comments everyone leaves on these episodes, but please no more comments about Invader Zim. That's not an anime.
Whoa.
Well, first off, it's true, but I'm fine with the comments about Invader Zim. You know, I'll allow it.
It's got that
It's not
anime
an
energy.
though.
It's fine.
No, it doesn't.
It does. It totally has anime energy.
Right. Zrugel also says, have you seen the movie Idiosyncrasy?
Idiocracy.
Idiocracy, sorry. And can you think of an isekai where the protagonist isn't the most powerful person, but the smartest person in the world of idiots? What?
I have
not
seen Idiocracy.
God, Zeno, you haven't seen it?
You haven't? Oh
No.
my god. It totally predicted the world we live in right now.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
In a very comedic way. Yeah, we should totally watch it.
It's like a guy who was cryogenically frozen or something, and he wakes up.
The army gets an average guy, and they want to test like cryogenically freezing people, but they're going to do it for a few years. They got a guy and a girl to do it, and they didn't know each other, but it was an average guy, very average intelligence, normal guy, normal American guy, and then by accident he stays in the chamber for like
50 years or 100 years. No, I don't think it's that long.
It's quite a few. It's quite a long. It's quite a long young. It's like 200 years or something. It's
something like that. Yeah.
And when he wakes up, the whole world has become stupid.
Basically, I think people that are addicted to what is the name of that?
First of all, do you remember the start of WALL-E when the entire world was covered in rubbish?
Yeah.
Right, that world, but people are still living in it. And
reality TV, that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, reality TV
and commercials,
like,
instance,
you might think like, why didn't the scientists save everything? Well, the scientists were too obsessed with making people's penises bigger and making the longest boner and making people regrow hair for hair loss.
All the plants are dying.
Got so obsessed with that.
All the plants are dying because they keep giving them electrolytes.
No, they keep giving them energy drink.
Brondo, it's got electrolytes.
It's got electrolytes. It's what plants need. But why do plants need electrolytes? Because
just put salts on them. Just put salt on them. It's fine, Yeah,
so it's absolutely stupid. Yeah, so
it's so good.
It's also very prophetic. But the logic is of how it ends up like that. Just continuous benefit. So you've got like the example they give is a smart couple who are both like cellists or something, very, very smart, and then you've got like some, I hate to be mean and cruel, but I think there's some rednecks as the example, some
hill people,
lower class American,
some hill people.
Yes, and so they look at how they breed, and obviously the guy, they take this one character, this guy, and he has like 3 kids, and then has an affair who has 4 kids, and then his kids have kids and things. And then they look at the cellist, and they go through time, and it's like, oh well, it's not quite the right economy to have a child yet. And, oh well, we're going to wait a few years till
basically today,
And then the guy dies. It's like, well, I've got some of his frozen sperm, but I'll try and have a kid. And it's like, so like the smart people don't have kids, and then the people who don't who just keep breeding like rabbits eventually outcompete all the smart people, and that's how you win.
Yep.
Right.
So yeah.
Okay.
Smartest person in the world of idiots. Can you think of one of those?
An isekai full of idiots,
or at least there's one smart person who can fix everything.
To be fair, trapped in a dating sim is not too far from it.
What about realist hero rebuilding the kingdom?
They're all stupid in that.
It's very hard to give an exact example. There are some isekais, but I can't think. I know I probably could think if I sat on it, but the problem is quite a lot of isekai protagonists are not the smartest people. Some of them are, I can't thinking like the Demon Lord reincarnated ones or whatever, because then they normally like in the reincarnated world, people are idiots when it comes to magic, and then the person, but in before they're reincarnated, most of the time they're the most powerful person anyway. So
Right, yeah.
work. I'm pretty sure there's some isekai ones where people are like, but this is like a video game, or my experience with a video game teach me this, but people in the world don't understand it like that. So, but I can't think of an example off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Okay, Zuma. Hollywood has quite famously worked in live action with animation for the iconic movies Space Jam and Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
What
And
about
Disney
Space Jam
has
2?
recently...
What? No Space Jam 2?
Nasuth, it's corner
And-
time for you with the bad hat on.
Yeah. Right. And Disney has recently made a good attempt at mixing animation with both CGI and live action in Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. Live action animation has been generally panned due to it not having the same energy as animated versions. So do you think that it could benefit from a similar attempt to blend live with animation? Would this even be possible to do well, or would weebs use it to create a situation where they could date a real 2D waifu? What the fuck is this question?
Definitely the second. Because if I know anything about weebs, they want their waifus, but they don't want them to actually be 3D. They still want them to be 2D. So.
I push back on this waifu thing, by the way, about 3D versus 2D waifus. I think 3D waifus are fine. It's the 4D ones you have to complain about. Like, because they age. That's the thing. Like, a 3D waifu... 4D are real people. The term is that 2D are the drawn waifus and they're better than 3D because 3D are real people. But actually, I think they need to expand upon this
4D.
idea that the real
4D,
people are actually
got
4D because they age through time because we travel.
No. We're only
Whereas
3D.
3D
We
waifu is
exist in a
timeless.
4D space, though. Yeah.
Yes, we are 4D.
No.
We are traveling through time and affected by time.
I'm just going to point out, right? People do know that Space Jam and Who Framed Roger Rabbit is just a work of fiction, right? It's not real, okay?
What?
Just going to shatter that. Just going to, take the hammer and shatter that delusion right there.
I'm so sad now.
But
are you
Hololive,
telling me?
on the other hand,
no,
VTubers.
hang on a minute. No, I know that's not true because I know that Space Jam is actually just a bibliography of what happened.
It's a documentary, yeah.
It's a documentary, yeah. He narrated it. It's fine. It's a documentary. It really happened.
That's why he went into. That's why he went into baseball. He was sick of having to defend Earth from these aliens.
And why did he come back to basketball? Because of Space
They
Jam.
needed it, yeah.
Right, so let's move on to the next question, unfortunately.
No, but I do actually. I don't know if anime could, if live action Japanese stuff could benefit from animation included with it. Do you think it would help? Like,
I thought this was like Hollywood.
No.
Live action anime. Well, where's the live action anime coming from? It's fucking Hollywood. It's not coming from Japan.
Live action anime has generally been that's not true. Japan is making the Full Metal Alchemist one. I think they also made the.
Can you give an example of a live action anime adaptation that was good?
No.
Right, to move.
I want to say yes, but I can't.
For that second bit about would this impossible, we was create a situation where you don't real to do wife.
Let's scroll down.
Okay.
Scroll the fuck down.
Fine.
Why
Right.
are you getting fancy over that off the questions you brought up earlier? Right, moving on.
Serious answers only. In honor of the Queen's Jubilee, what anime would you recommend to her? Silly answers only. What anime scene would you like to see the Queen replace a character
Oh.
Girls on Panzer. Show how amazing British tanks are.
in? Yep.
Represent. Or, what was Code Geass? Because then she does the alternative history where she takes over the world. And the Queen can then plot towards that and use it as a blueprint to control the world, as the Queen rightly should.
Yep. She is immortal, don't you know? There you go.
I'm gonna say Dragon Ball Z, and it's when Goku goes Super Saiyan. It'll be her going Super Saiyan instead.
Oh my god.
Serious answer though. What anime would I recommend?
The Queen
her?
is always in a Super Saiyan state. Don't be silly.
Okay, then let's go with Super and have her go Ultra Instinct. All right.
Oh my god.
What about the serious answer though? What anime would you show to her, or would you recommend to her?
Code Geass, Girls and Panzer.
Oh, I thought that were your silly answers for what you wanted to see her in.
No. Girls and Panzer. Right, okay. If you've not seen have you seen Girls and Panzer?
No.
Nasuth?
No.
It's a brilliant anime in which everyone lives on boats now for some reason.
All right.
On giant boats, and then they have at school a sport which is driving around in tanks fighting other tanks.
Yeah.
So like tanks are now used as a sport.
So it's World of Tanks.
And then you've got islands out there.
No.
Then there's a competition. What?
It's World of
He
Tanks.
said it, so it's World on Tanks, no.
No. And then they also like have ship versus ship, as in like city versus city, because the city is a boat on water. Competitions over which school has the best tank team. And then you have themed tanks. So you have like the British tanks. There's like a whole team of the British tanks, a whole team of the German tanks. It's brilliant. It's such a good show. So and they start playing fife and drum for the British ones, which is just brilliant. It's so good for the British. And then if you haven't seen for Naz benefit, this again isn't a joke, for what am I talking about? What's the other one? Code Geass, Nasuth. If you don't know what the setting of Code Geass is the British Empire take over all of America and Japan.
Wow,
because they're the best.
No, I can't. Instantly breaks my immersion. I couldn't watch it. No.
If what happens is the American rebellion gets defeated, which was pretty close to be honest. And if the French didn't intervene, we would have won. So we after taking over America, we then take over Japan, and through the discovery of a rare metal that is also mostly in Japan, we can build not giant robots, but pretty decent big robots. We use those. They're called nightmares, and they're pretty good.
So for me, I would show her JoJo Part 1.
Yeah, that's a
with
good one.
Jonathan
Very
Joestar.
British. Yes, definitely.
And I would have her replace Saber in Fate Stay Zero.
Very good.
No.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
You are right.
No, Gilgamesh. Sorry.
No, well, no. She wouldn't. You wouldn't replace. She would be a different hit.
No, that's the silly.
Why
that's
would
the
you
silly
sub
question.
King Arthur when you could just summon Queen Elizabeth? It's
That's
true.
the silly question.
I know. Question. I'm with you. But you wouldn't replace Gilgamesh or.
Well, that's what the
Saber.
thing is. What
Does it say
anime scene?
replace?
Yeah,
No,
replace a character.
I'm gonna beat replace. It'd be an addition. She would.
Okay.
The Queen is so
She'd
good.
be
The Queen
there.
wouldn't replace. The Queen would be an addition to. Be
Okay.
like, right, what character? What hero are you summoning? Queen Elizabeth II.
I would show her. I would show her Yu-Gi-Oh because she probably has a Millennium Puzzle already.
It's probably in the museum, to be honest. She owns it, so yeah.
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 Up with the crown jewels.
And what would you replace her in?
I meant the history.
Oh,
museum.
I already
got all the stuff that we stole.
I already said I'd put her in Dragon Ball Super when she's going for Ultra Instinct.
Okay, fair enough.
She can punch a hole in the universe.
Okay, Boomer says, there are plenty of examples of old media being remade with fancy new techniques and graphics. But can you think of a new anime that could benefit from an 80s or 90s style makeover? What the fuck question is this, Nasuth?
It's pretty straightforward.
No, because 80s and 90s style probably is so beautiful that I wouldn't let you dare touch one single frame because it probably is the lovely.
No.
we're
He's
doing it the other way
take a new
around.
series. Take a new series.
Oh!
And
Take Shield Hero and make it. Yeah. I know. It's kind of a tough one, isn't it? Ooh, I'll take that. Yeah.
No, the ones I feel were best done was like the cyberpunk setting.
Oh, for
So
sure.
like when you saw like stuff like Akira, that's the way it did circuit things. That's when the hyper detailed stuff was best.
Yeah, but that was a movie. That budget was insane.
No, but there was other stuff. That's just an example. I mean,
Okay.
but there's other stuff where it's the sci-fi. I feel really did shine from the style of the 80s, 90s.
okay.
That's when it did really well. I'm just trying to think of a modern sci-fi I'd like to see redone as that.
Sci-fi or post-apocalyptic, probably.
What? What was that, Loz?
I can't think of one.
Darling in the Franxx?
Yeah.
No, because it doesn't have very big cityscapes. You want something with cityscapes.
You can put cityscapes in it. They have a fucking mobile city.
There's not many though.
What about World's End?
Just put some in.
What about World's End Harem?
Shut up, you.
I didn't finish that. I didn't think I finished that.
No, you don't. It is awful.
Can you tell me the end afterwards?
Yeah, sure.
Cool. Oh, yeah, because I missed the thing when we discussed the ending.
Oh, Aimee might work actually. Warrior of the Borderline.
Aimee
Kyokai Senki
would probably be better that way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would love to see that. I think the mechs, I'm not a big fan of the design of the mechs, so
yeah, it's understandable.
That would probably be that's probably a good example because that's kind of what that show's trying to ape.
Yeah,
it's trying to like come up with a different mech show that's not Gundam, but not be Gundam, and it really could have benefited from like a really snazzy art style. Yeah, there you go, brilliant example then, Ezra. Answered your own question.
Cool. Right. So moving on to the comments.
Oh my god.
Arteria Faith says, did either of you three watch, did any of you three watch the Thundercats show from 2011?
Never heard of it. Xeno's never heard of it.
I was originally thinking that was Thundercats Raw, but Raw is ugly while Thundercats 2011 looks amazing. I'm pretty sure we mentioned that.
I thought we did too, but
I'm very sure we mentioned it because, like, you know,
I know we've talked about it before at least.
And then we got okay. Trex Paddock says, I'm not certain that Loz's target demographic... So, what Loz's target demographic is. However, I'm fairly certain that I'm in it. So, you're not sure what you are?
Loz is made for the grumpy, angry man in all of us.
Okay. Zrugal says, I'm from America, and I didn't do the plus sign... with the diagonal line under it.
All right. So, we're gonna settle this once and for all. This is it cut it off, but it's supposed to say Mike. It's supposed to say Mike and Ike, and this is the end. This is the end.
What the fuck?
Why is there an upside down mirrored 4?
That's just how you do an N.
No.
Yeah.
It's just mirrored on the diagonal.
You think about how an ampersand looks. And this is essentially it.
Ampersand looks nothing like that!
This is essentially it.
You got the loop on the wrong side! Oh my god! There needs to be 2 loops! My Britishness has been...
Shall we move from that just straight into the memes then?
Get me some memes before I kill someone.
Oh god. Let me...
You might have to reset the thing.
Oh, you want me to go back to big?
Yeah, put it back to big.
Alright.
Big people be big.
Yeah,
big people guy. No reason.
Right. So we got Nasuth's first meme.
Me before was is. People currently learning English.
Before was is.
Buffalo.
Anyway, yep, I can totally get where they're coming from with that.
Rest of the sub watching Slice of Life. This is how I feel in Kanpai Cast sometimes. Rest of the sub watching Slice of Life only. Me only watching mecha anime. Loz is a bit in here too.
Can I just say that's just
Loz?
Both.
Yes.
Loz. Like, where's my mechs at?
Yeah.
Narrator. Find out on the next episode of Dragon Ball Z. Goku for the next 5 episodes.
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
Okay.
Me finally about to beat the final boss I struggled with for hours. The second phase.
Yep. Okay.
You're approaching me? She's too nervous to answer. Komi made a new friend.
Okay.
And finally, Season 3 of Konosuba, Season 2 of Ouran High School Host Club, Season 2 of My Roommate is a Cat, or Season 2 of Ghost Stories with the English dubcast and writers. They can do whatever they want.
They can do whatever they want.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my fuck. Wait, is Ouran High School Host Club actually getting
I believe it is.
Oh my fucking god. Why? Okay.
How
Right.
is that? I'm sorry. How is that more brain activity than season 3 of Connoisseurs? Because
I know, right?
I take issue with that. The 4th point though is
Yeah.
amazing. That literally would be ascending into a new dimension.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So my first meme. So these are the My Anime list scores for Spy Family, We Can't Communicate, and Love Is War. You even got Anya hiding in the window and just completely crushing Shikimori's Not Just a Cutie, because it is bad.
Oh, it's beautiful.
I just want to start on just because it's the viciousness of that image. I know it's a JoJo reference as well.
Yes.
But I just want to say we do not improve of violence. It's just the foot. It's just the face. I'm sorry. We do not approve of violence and we do not condone violence. But still,
this is a JoJo
Also-
meme. That's
also
the important part.
I know,
This
This
JoJo.
shoe's perfect placement. We'll not get into that.
Right. So my second one. All right. So Reddit. Hero worship is unhealthy. Just walks on by with that. 'Cause seriously, whenever it's Saturday, nothing but Anya memes.
I love that face,
Right.
though.
That's amazing.
My third meme, right? The fastest thing on Earth: cheetah, airplane, speed of light. Weebs changing their waifu every season. Right? And wait for it. My fourth meme.
Oh, yeah.
The spring 2022. I don't want to play with you anymore.
Me
after yeah, go on.
Me after realizing the undeniable truth and fact, I don't want to play with you anymore.
And she just and he takes back Marin.
Yeah. Was that 4?
Right. That was 4. Number 5. Right.
Oh, no.
Attack on Titan fans after finishing the manga. And then you got Chainsaw Man reaching out a hand.
I know
It's
nothing
really
about
good.
it.
The manga is so good. Like I'm genuinely concerned that I've put Chainsaw Man on such a high pedestal in my head. The anime is going to let me down. I'm really worried about it. So please don't read it until you. Yeah, please don't.
When's
read
it coming out?
Next season, I think.
Year.
Yeah. It's either next season or it's autumn, but yeah.
I'm not going to actually read the manga because obviously I've read the.
Yeah, right. And then my final meme. Apparently, due to Chinese censorship, blood in anime will be recolored into white to make it not look too graphic.
Yes.
Chinese Attack on Titan.
Oh my god.
I'm pretty sure this scene is from Higurashi, but still.
Had the not true.
I honestly don't know, but
it comes from people who were doing it with preempting the Spy Family one, with Yor coming back covered in blood.
Oh yeah.
And they were saying the Chinese censorship one should be covered back in white stuff, and it's like,
right.
I've just come back from my job.
Right, I've not seen that. All I've seen is I've seen like Tokyo Ghoul. Multiple versions of this one, but this was the one.
Once it starts, it just snowballs.
If this is how China does censor it, though, I can't believe it would censor for long because it just makes it worse. So
yeah. I don't know. They can do like black or something,
or green.
Yeah,
green would be good because it's like, what is that? Snot? Blood, slime, green is good. Do it green.
Right. Oh crap! We did actually work out what we're doing for next week, didn't we?
Did we?
Yes, we did. Nasuth didn't write it down though.
I didn't write it. I didn't write it down.
You didn't write it down. So next week we are doing the pitch meeting. That was it.
Oh
so
yeah.
Basically,
that's really fun.
I think this was your idea, Loz. So the idea is we take some Western shows or movies and we describe them to each other as Loz, we came up with this like months ago.
I think it might have actually been me, or I got it from somewhere.
Don't steal Loz's credit.
Loz, I got it from Loz. I stole it
do
from Loz.
remember watching lots of those YouTube videos with the guy who does pitch meetings, and maybe it.
I have no idea what that is, so yeah.
Oh, when the guy pitched movies as if. Oh, okay. I'll think you afterwards.
Yeah. So that's the idea. So we're gonna take some Western stuff, and we're gonna resell it as a anime concept to each other, and we're going to make a little bit of a game of it. Right, okay, so yeah, that's it for this week. So thank you all for watching / listening, and now it's time to bottoms up and Kanpai!